Distinguished guests, welcome to the University of North Texas, Texas Academy of the Mathematics and Science 2021 graduation ceremony. We'll begin in just a few minutes. Please take this opportunity to silence all cell phones and other electronic devices. We will begin in just a few moments. We hope you will enjoy this ceremony and remember it fondly for many years to come. Because this is a special day for all of our graduates, we ask that you stay until the end so that everyone will feel honored by your presence. And in order to keep our community safe, please wear your face mask at all times and remain 6 feet from other families when possible. For those of you joining us from a remote location watching the live stream, welcome. We wish circumstances were different so that we could all be together as we celebrate this momentous occasion. Thank you for your support and sacrifices for these individuals to get where they are today. Now please stand as you are able as we recognize the platform party and remain standing for the national anthem. Dr. Jennifer Cowley, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. Glenison de Oliveira, Dean for the Texas Academy of Mathematics and Science and the Honors College. Dr. James Duban, Associate Dean for Research and National Scholarships. Dr. Eric Groover, Associate Dean for the Texas Academy of Mathematics and Science. Dr. Bethany Blackstone, Associate Dean for the Honors College. Ms. Courtney Watson, Assistant Dean and Director for Finance and Operations. And I am Russ Stuckel, Assistant Dean for the Texas Academy of Mathematics and Science Student Life, serving as today's announcer. Thank you. You may be seated.
Good morning, and welcome to the TAMS class of 2021 graduation ceremony. I am Glenison de Oliveira, Dean of the Texas Academy of Mathematics and Science and the Honors College. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jennifer Cowley, UNT's Provost, as she gives a welcome from the university.
Thank you, Dean de Oliveira. I'm so glad to be here to celebrate with the TAMS class of 2021. TAMS has been an important and integral part of the university for as long as it's been associated with the University of North Texas. Back in 1987, Texas legislators enshrined in a law a unique educational experiment to occur right here at the University of North Texas, the Texas Academy of Mathematics and Science. I earned 2 degrees from the University of North Texas, and during my time of studies, TAMS students were on campus and taking advanced courses and making disciplinary and community contributions. Later, when I returned as provost, I learned more personally about the wonderful opportunities our students have at TAMS. And I take great pride in counting as a valued part of the Division of Academic Affairs our TAMS students. During the 34 years in which TAMS has existed, this past one may not have been quite the same, but much more memorable, given the global pandemic that impacted most aspects of our lives. TAMS certainly was affected, and mainly because of the precautionary measures that required home residence and, for the most part, remote teaching. Under normal circumstances, TAMS students add significantly to our community and are a treasured part of our everyday life. Thus, I felt somewhat disconsolate in seeing only the occasional TAMS student on campus, rather than the immediately recognizable groups of 100 to 200 students marching together to make it to biology class on time, or a Monday afternoon ceremony. And far be it for me to mention those running hectically, running behind to avoid being late. And while I missed those familiar sights, I was sure that our TAMS students of today, just like those in previous decades, would rise resourcefully to these new challenges. That's because TAMS students are creative and take initiative. In fact, that was patently obvious in my first semester as provost, when some very sharp members of the TAMS community promptly scheduled a visit to my office to introduce themselves and regale me with the tales of our TAMS community. My trust has certainly been well placed as you go beyond academic accomplishment in being sociable and contributive members of both your UNT and surrounding community. I understand, for example, you created new mechanisms to stay connected and that you implemented a virtual hall experience to enable you to bump into each other and have casual interactions. Some of you, I've also learned, created the first ever TAMS research platform to help locate remote research experiences. You also shared in cultural experiences, fun events, and even participated in novel forms of community service, all because of your resourcefulness and creativity. You studied together, supported each other, especially in light of one of the worst tragedies after losing one of your own, a dear classmate whom we'll honor later in this ceremony. I've been told by TAMS leaders that McConnell Hall is where the magic happens. This year, however, you proved that the community of TAMS, rather than being in a building, is where the magic occurs. In so many ways, you, the students, have become prime movers of one another's growth, resolve, and achievements. Of course, I would be negligent as provost were I not to acknowledge the key role that faculty have played in your success. UNT faculty members are uniquely qualified to challenge TAMS students to learn at sometimes dizzyingly high levels and to mentor you as young scholars. I'm delighted by the contributions you've made through research, even while at a distance from campus. This past summer, for example, we had the greatest number of TAMS students conducting research ever, 113 of you. You represented us well in coding, math, biology, physics, business, art, and design competitions. Many of you received awards and recognitions in state, national, and international settings. You added 2 more Goldwater scholarships to the largest collection of these prestigious awards in the state of Texas. And all that happened despite obstacles, because you engineered new pathways to learn and to contribute. Thus, no matter how far apart you were geographically, you united in making a difference as members of the larger UNT community. Indeed, no matter where you are, you'll always remain a cherished part of this community. I mentioned your faculty mentors a minute ago, but now let me refer to the origins of your success in the love and support from your parents, grandparents, classmates, and friends. Would you please join in giving an appreciative ovation to all those who have supported you? We're proud to count you as members of the UNT family and are honored that UNT has been part of your ongoing journey to success. We're also delighted that some of you have chosen to continue your education and research at UNT, taking advantage of studying at a Tier 1 research university that has already become home to you. We wish success to each of you and hope that you'll remember TAMS and UNT as the place it all began. We know that you will continue to blaze new trails and make the world around you a little better along the way. As you continue your pursuit of academic excellence and career achievement, remember that success is defined not merely by what you do or by how far up the career ladder you climb. Success, more importantly, resonates in how you choose to leave your mark on humanity. As Albert Einstein said, strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. Congratulations and good luck to all of our graduates.
Thank you, Provost Cowley. In the 1980s, Dr. Julian Stanley, a Johns Hopkins scholar at the Center for Talented Youth, had been envisioning how to combine lessons from educational studies over the years into what could be the best possible environment for talented teenagers to experience intellectual and personal growth. Dr. Stanley's dream was embraced by Dr. James Miller, the Dean of the College of Education right here at UNT. He developed a proposal for a residential STEM academy at UNT where high-achieving students of high school age would take advantage of advanced college classes, conduct research, and have a residential experience that would foster personal growth and develop leadership skills. This academy was to offer the best possible holistic education to these students with interest in STEM fields. The president of the university was Dr. Alfred Hurley. He engaged the legislature, who passed a statute on June 23, 1987, as Provost Cowley mentioned. And the rest is history. TAMS was created. Perhaps one thing that was unforeseen in how perfect a placement this was, as Provost Cowley mentioned, UNT has a fantastic and cutting-edge fantastic faculty at the cutting edge of their fields. It turns out that we are a top-tier research university classified at the highest level by the Carnegie Foundation, and our faculty are truly dedicated to undergraduates in their classrooms and research labs. Additionally, we have had an amazing pool of students right here. I don't say that simply because you are smart. And you are smart. But remember that we have turned down applicants with perfect SATs before. You are rather well-rounded students with passion, multiple talents, diverse interests and background, and fantastic academic credentials. In the end, the experiment proved to be successful, and several other states have used the TAMS model to establish other academies over the years. But TAMS' success was never fully reproduced. It remains unique because of the right ingredients we have here, including some that were not predicted by the founders. This year, a different version of the unpredicted contributed to your education. First, it was the most impactful pandemic of our lifetimes. TAMS was directly impacted, and a core element of our operations and community building strategy was not available to us. Many of you took all classes remotely, and everything was different. I say that the pandemic and its consequences were part of the unique education of the class of 2021 because difficulties reveal and mold character. And barriers often foster resourcefulness and creativity. As I mentioned elsewhere last week, diamonds are only formed under great pressure. In fact, the observation that tribulation can bring about growth and value has been made many times over the years and centuries. Recent public figures made statements like the following. Legendary football coach Lou Holtz said, "Show me someone who has done something worthwhile, and I will show you someone who has overcome adversity." J.K. Rowling of Harry Potter fame stated, "Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I built my life." Earlier, in the 19th century, Benjamin Disraeli asserted that there is no education like adversity. And what an education you had. Even in literature from ancient times, biblical times, we find quotes such as this from the Apostle Paul, who said, "We also glory or rejoice in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope." You have indeed developed resilience, perseverance, and hope this year. The evidence of your growth and excellence is everywhere. You did well in your classes, in spite of the sudden change in delivery mode and the dynamics of the classes. We had the largest cohort of summer researchers ever, and you succeeded in publishing and contributing to several fields. You competed nationally and internationally in coding, math, biology, physics, science, business, art, and other competitions. You were recognized or received awards at the Texas Junior Academy of Science, Cold Wars, TARC for rocketry, Quiz Bowl Nationals, International Brain Bee, NASA Space Settlement Design, DECA, and many others. You received Goldwater Awards. You produced and donated masks and wrote letters of encouragement to health workers. You knitted hats and wrote letters to cancer patients. You engaged and helped younger students, tutored virtually, produced educational videos, and presented science demonstrations. You volunteered at nursing homes and found a way to make new friends by participating in virtual nursing home visits at a time when the elderly were most isolated as a group at high risk for COVID. You encouraged and inspired others through your art, be it music from Doror or visual arts as in Profiles Anthology. You reached out and checked on each other and served as mentors who helped keep first-year students on track. You did all that in new ways. And I honestly barely scratched the surface of all you did in these short comments. Significantly, much of what you have created and accomplished this past year was in the service of others. You did what you did because TAMS is a caring community, and you are TAMsters. You support and encourage one another and have a positive impact in the world around you using heart, head, and hands. We have indeed talked about the nature of our community many times. You may recall how at convocation I used the analogy of a human body, where we need different members with different functions and roles. Our differences are complementary, and every member is needed. When one member is hurt, the whole body is affected. I certainly did not know at that point what this year had on hold for us. As if COVID were not enough, our community suffered the loss of an irreplaceable member, Anush Beerum. When tragedy struck, some of you went out of your way to honor your friend and be of help and support his family. You were there at the hospital and at every step of the way. At the memorial ceremony, you helped others. Sai served as MC, and those who spoke, Sai, Southwick, Govind, Anirudh, and Sage, did so with grace, dignity, and poise as you remembered Anush. Yes, this year was fraught with challenges, tragedy, and difficulties, and I won't even get into Snowmageddon. We will all remember this year, but I suspect that you will remember it for accomplishments, friendships, and great success, while I and others in the TAMS administration will remember it for the most resilient and remarkable of the 32 different graduating TAMS classes. I'm proud of you, as are your parents and relatives. I believe Dr. Julian Stanley's idea, the TAMS experiment, has been successful beyond all expectations. And you are living proof of that. Congratulations, class of 2021. Now I invite Dr. Dubin, Associate Dean for Research and National Scholarships, to offer his remarks.
Thank you, Dean de Oliveira. Students, I would like to build upon the remarks of my colleagues by addressing some of the qualities requisite for future success. Attributes emerging less from AI and big data than from internal disposition and personal refinement. I shall therefore reference a book I deeply value, Stanley Rossner's and Lawrence App's collection of interviews with 20th century creative persons, such as Bonnie Cashin, fashion designer, Aaron Copland, composer, George Nelson, architect, Paul Saltman, molecular chemist, Morris Klein, mathematician, Wilder Penfield, neuroscientist, and Freilich Rainey, archaeologist. Several years ago, after publishing an article about Rossner's interviews, I received an unexpected phone call. A gruff voice said, "I'd like to speak to James Dubin." Taken aback, I responded, "This is he." The caller, either amused or perhaps put off by such formal diction, chose to one-up me. "This is you?" Exhilarated by the card he had played, I raised him. "Indeed, 'tis I." Tired of such banter, the caller said, "Look, this is Stanley Rossner. Let me cut to the chase. I liked your article." The now late Dr. Rossner, then approaching 90 years of age, was still a practicing psychologist and a delightful conversationalist. He encouraged me to continue disseminating the lessons of his interviews. I shall do so today as a memorial to his intellectual vivacity and as a tribute to your promising tomorrows. I shall then conclude with my own observations. In Rossner's collection of interviews, archaeologist Rainey talks about the need in one's profession diligently to follow out a big idea. Really big ideas, adds molecular chemist Saltman, who cares not for the little experiment, even if it makes for the perfect paper. Following in the path of Madame Curie and anticipating the intrepid spirit of Elon Musk, Saltman prefers major experiments, whatever the risk. That audacity in the realm of intellectual adventure has implications not merely for your impassioned commitment to postgraduate and study and research, but for your personal and political autonomy. Why? Because according to sculptor Egman, the whole purpose of creation is about unshackling oneself to be free, to find out what you are and how you relate to others. Stated otherwise, graduates, you should utilize your ever-evolving research outlooks to guard against intellectual complacency and theories du jour. Still, while research is highly individualistic, it can often be engagingly collaborative. So how will you reconcile those diverse factors. As for the place of individualism in research, mathematician Klein talks about the valid presence of ego. He remarks that we want to know that we got there before others did. In the course of achieving such satisfaction, you, graduates, well into the 21st century, will continue to experience what composer Aaron Copland calls the hunger of self-expression, along with the desire to leave your mark on both the present and the future. Still, a sociable individualism should be part of your futures. Archaeologist Rainey surveys that terrain when he luxuriates in the prospect of encountering somebody thinking in an entirely different way. Similarly, neuropsychologist Kretsch speaks about the benefits of having collaborators check and ultimately improve his work. If I work alone, he says, the idea comes out young, alive, brave, brilliant, but usually wrong. Molecular chemist Saltman adds that he has made many good friends in science with whom he has developed personal relationships, and that, he insists, is a very important aspect of science. Such, elliptically rendered, are the words of wisdom and advice offered in Rossner's The Creative Experience. I'll now progress to advice I have garnered from business leaders. I once asked a CEO of ExxonMobil what he would advise my students. He responded, quote, "Tell them that if they come to work for us and, after 5 years, hope to be earning more than 15% above the salary at which we hired them, that they better be good writers." Now there's a thought. I have also solicited student-oriented tips from a former project manager of one of this nation's top aeronautic manufacturers, where he oversaw 5,000 personnel. He urged me to say the following. 1, always value everything you learn and eventually apply it to solving problems in the lab, in the community, and in the world. 2, never allow your young age to be a barrier against what you can accomplish. 3, never fear politely to ask why, for we frequently need to bring new perspectives to solve old problems. 4, engage non-traditional disciplines to solve problems, since poets, artists, and musicians can help resolve evasive dilemmas because they think in novel ways. 5, at an early age, define your noblest definition of success relative to meaningful work that changes people's lives for the better. When possible, he adds, combine your life's bucket list with your research inquiry. Stated otherwise, sail to the Galapagos Islands to study biology. Now I'll leave you with my own advice. A, live a principled, personal, and professional life. You sometimes have only seconds to make the right ethical choice. Do so while that window of opportunity is open. B, relative to email, never push the send button with a shaky finger. Wait several hours or even a day to reconsider your tone and phrasing. C, always credit the work of others who report to you. Never accept unearned credit. D, support every corner of your institution's endeavors and outreach, not just the office you occupy. E, do not fool yourself into believing that there are nonstop flights to your dream position. Advancement is incremental, demanding that you achieve excellence one step at a time. Finally, remember the admonition of John Henry Cardinal Newman in his 19th century discourse, The Idea of a University, to wit, that the best sign of highly educated persons is their ability to draw others out in conversation and to listen appreciatively. I expect that such a union of creativity and social grace will continue to characterize you and your futures. You have achieved so much at such a young age, certainly foreshadowing even greater accomplishment to follow. Now we will highlight the graduates, after which Dr. Groover will lead us in a special recognition. Congratulations to the class of 2021. Thank you. Is there a part of the script?
are some beautiful, intelligent people. Congratulations. Good morning. I'm Dr. Eric Gruber, Associate Dean for TAMS. I am humbled today to say a few words in honor of Anush, a member of the class of 2021 who passed away this year. During his TAMS interview, Anush said he hoped he made good decisions during his TAMS experience. He also said he wanted to learn how to take care of himself while living apart from his family. For everyone who never had the chance to meet Anush, believe me, he made outstanding decisions. And Anush took care of himself. But he also managed to take care of everyone else. Anush seemed to have more than 24 hours in his day because he seemed to be everywhere, doing everything. And he helped everyone become the best they could be. He cheered for others' successes, and he offered words of encouragement when a friend encountered a challenge. Anush also made sure that you all did not take yourselves or school very seriously or too seriously. Some of his closest friends told me that Anush made people smile and laugh, but not necessarily because his jokes were funny. Apparently, Anush's jokes were often bad and sometimes poorly timed. Yet, even when his friends booed his bad jokes, Anush asked them, "But did you laugh?" Even his silly moments were designed with others in mind. One classmate said that Anush personified joy. Other friends call Anush our anchor, or my TAMS dad, or a brother. But my favorite one was one student said, Anush was a great dude. As humanity searches for ways to prolong life, I am convinced that we live forever by learning from each other, remembering a story about a person, or adopting a gesture or a phrase that they used, or learning how to cook their favorite food. And you all know how much I love food. By remembering Anush and following his example of character and friendship, Anush lives forever. He's here today with us because of his impact on all of us. Now, we will play a brief video made by students highlighting Anush and his personality and his contributions to TAMS and to all of us. Thank you.
Anush never failed to inspire the best in everyone and everything around him. He found the joy in every situation, put a smile on everyone's face, and never failed to provide us all with a laugh.
He has impacted my life in so many ways. He has taught me what it means to be happy, and he's taught me what it means to be the true embodiment of what a human being should be.
I still look up to him as a role model, and I want to represent his values in myself.
He truly was the embodiment of happiness and laughter, and I'm really grateful that I had that privilege to know him and be his friend and get to experience that joy that he shared with everyone.
Anush welcomed everyone into his life with open arms and no judgment. I will always remember his kindness and those memories.
Mr. and Mrs. Beerum, we are thankful that you sent Anush to TAMS. We will always hold dear our fondest memories of him. We have now come to the part of the ceremony that some of you have been anticipating, the conferral of your diplomas and the turning of your tassels. Let me start this segment by saying that if your tassel is on the left side, you jumped the gun. You must put it back on the right-hand side. Would all the graduates please stand? Today, you join the ranks of TAMS graduates. This is a select group of people who went beyond simply concluding an academic program. TAMS graduates are leaders who contribute meaningfully to various fields and continue to be a part of a community that has a positive impact around the world, whose members value each other and support each other as they continue a life of service and distinction. By the authority vested in me by the state of Texas and UNT, I hereby confer upon you your TAMS diploma. You have been through the unique TAMS experience together and have accomplished so much together. In order to symbolize your accomplishments and your conclusion of TAMS, I ask that together, one more time, at the count of 3, that you move your tassels from the right side to the left. Is everyone ready? 1, 2, 3. Please move your tassels. Congratulations, graduates, on your tremendous accomplishments. And please join me in recognizing our newest TAMS graduates one more time. Please be seated. As we conclude, we remind our guests that the program for this ceremony will remain available on the TAMS graduation page. Also, the slideshow you saw will be on our YouTube channel linked to the TAMS graduation page. Also, note that guests are not allowed on the field. Please wait for graduates to exit in recessional, and they will be marshaled out, and you will be able to meet at gate 4. To all our graduates, again, we are so proud of you. As you go your ways, please remember that you will always be a member of the TAMS fam. You will always be a member of the UNT family, and you will always be welcome back as alumni. I look forward to hearing of your new endeavors and accomplishments. It is certain that life will present you with new challenges. Especially after this year, I am confident that you will meet those challenges with excellence, integrity, and distinction. Congratulations again.